Okay, my name is John Tyler with another how-to video. I've done one now on when squirrels do get in your attic, but now lately, which means September through October, squirrels will chew their way into your attic through any means necessary, usually the fascia boards. I'm going to show you exactly what happened to my house on October the 13th, and I ended up repairing it, and this is how you're going to keep squirrels out once they get in. As you can see, my little furry friend up on the roof there chewed that hole through the fascia board. The house is old, it's 1961, but now with the big hole in there, this little guy wants to invite. I have like 4 big oak trees out front. Every neighbor's house has oak trees. And there's probably 12 squirrels living in the trees. But now, for the winter time, they know they're going to build a home in your attic and have their little babies. So they will chew, this guy will chew and has chewed that hole into my fascia board out toward the front of the house where the gutter is. That's huge. I mean, he can invite all 12 of his buddies to live in my attic where they'll get in there and do destructive things like chewing your house wires, starting a fire. So nay, we have to fix this, right? Here we go, step 1. This, of course, I came outside on the 13th of October, 2022. I looked up because I heard the squirrels in my attic, or squirrel, and chewing. And I said, well, geez, that's kind of unusual. So I had to go outside, like you will do, and look around the house. In this one spot, I saw where little fat squirrels can get right through the hole that they chewed in the fascia board. Well, without having the tools or the wood that I needed to make the repair, all I could do was find a long stick and put it up there, try to block the hole while I went to Lowe's and bought some stuff, and I'll show you what that is and how to make the repair. Again, this house is 1961, so that fascia board and trim piece is like wicked old. So the very first thing I did was, you'll notice the trim piece and the fascia board is nailed to that backer board, rake board, whatever you want to call it. So I cut that back to expose not only the hole, but I cut those 2 pieces back 15 inches from the gutter back toward the trim. So now my object is to fill that hole with wood, and that wood will have metal in it because squirrels cannot chew through metal. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So the very first thing I did was I measured a board that was less than 15 inches. This is going to be the backer board. On top of that, I'm going to lay a regular board plus the trim. But on that board, you notice that toward the squirrel hole and beyond is metal that I got at Lowe's. And they can't chew through that for sure. So that's the first step that I did, was I screwed this to the backer board. So I bought a 1x8 pine piece and cut that 15 inches to go all the way from the trim, as you can see on the left, to fill up the hole toward the gutter in the front. And behind that, by the way, when I laid it on the shop bench, I put another piece of that metal, a flat piece, on the back of this, glued it in with a nice sealer, and so that thing, whatever bites through here, is going to lose its choppers. Anyway, on top of this, I'll show you next, I finished it off by putting a trim board on. Couldn't match 1961 stuff, and I painted it in the shop and then stuck it on the house, and everything is cool and blocked off. Show you what I mean. Not what a $2,000 an hour carpenter would do, but there it is, finished off. The trim board, try to match that stupid thing up the top there, but that's the board laid over that board with the metal on it. And this board here is the one with the metal glued onto the back of it, and then the trim piece that I got from Lowe's, the squirrel hole is blocked, they can't get in. The problem is, the next morning, which is today, October 14th, I'm hearing chewing of wood, and I looked out the window, I can't see a thing going on. So I went outside at 7:24 a.m., and I still hear the chewing, but I can't see a squirrel. So it appears that when I sealed this in, I sealed in Mr. Squirrel, the chewer. So he's trying to chew his way out now through probably the vent outside. Show you what I mean. Sure enough, the squirrel was chewing from about 7:24 this morning, October 14th, 2022, for about 4 hours. Now I let him chew away, hoping he would chew his way out. Then I could fix this. But I went outside and I took a shot of this at about noon today. And this is where he was turning his head upside down, trying to chew his way out, it would appear. So he'll either chew his way out, and by the way, he stopped chewing and it's totally silent up there, which means he's either resting or he lost all his teeth, or I hope, or he will drop dead up there and stink up my attic for a little while. In which case I have a pull down attic stairway. I'll go up and remove his carcass and bury it out back with the other one that I killed. I can't kill them all, unfortunately, because I live in a neighborhood that has houses close by. My last house, I had 2 acres of land and no houses around, and I bought a BB rifle with a scope, and I knocked off 17 of these little destructive buggers. You see those wires there? That's the 220 wiring going into the house. Well, they had chewed through that. When I first moved in, I noticed a problem up there. So the electric company came out and replaced those wires. Those are brand new. But they actually chew through that stuff. So they're just deadly, destructive rats with tails. Anyway, I also want to remind you I have another video here with how to get rid of them if they get in your attic, and that is to spread some mothballs around and make sure you have plenty of insulation up there in the attic, because otherwise you're going to smell the mothballs in your house. This is a raised ranch, so it's pretty easy for me, and the mothballs have kept them out for the last couple of years, but I just put more in there yesterday after hearing the squirrel chewing through wood. So that's the scoop. If you need any help or have any questions, be sure to make a comment. John Tyler signing out. So finally, by the way, here are the 6 steps to correct the squirrel chewing a fascia board. Step 1, as you can see, is buy a piece of pine. 1x8 is what I bought because that fits my situation. Step 2 is over to the left. Cut the chewed piece back 10 to 15 inches so you can expose the backing board. Step 3, get that piece of tin, put it on the first board you're going to put in there, and then extend it past the board and bend it to the right, as you can see. Step 4 explains that. Step 5 is another piece of board that's going on top of step 4 board. Get it? And that's cut specifically for the hole where I've already showed you the instructions. Then the final step is to get a piece of trim, molding, whatever you want to call it, and paint it to match the color of your fascia. That's it. Sayonara.